Whenever Dr. Thompson was missing from the hallway, he was out getting fresh air. And what fresh air meant was he was in his little red convertible, driving around Lost Creek, smoking his cigar.
Yeah, he almost ran me over once in his convertible with a cigar hanging over his mouth.
I had a lot of run-ins with everybody with that car.
I met Lynn in high school. He was accepted into medical school at Ohio State, and a year later I was as well, and that's when we kind of reconnected. So we end up in the same residency program in Dayton. Lima at that time was in need of primary care physicians, and it was a good fit for us, so we both came back, and we called ourselves Lima Group Family Physicians.
We were busy. First day in practice I saw were 30 people. I never saw fewer than that the whole time I was here.
His patients just loved him. When I worked in the office, that man would spend so much time listening to his patients that sometimes the other patients that were in the waiting room would get upset.
It was always about the patients, and the rest of things came second. I had a supporting wife through the whole thing, and she was everything. So it gave me the strength to do what I had to do. My wife took care of the kids. I mean, that's the way it went. I loved them. Tried to set a good example for them, and I think it worked. Over the years, the practice grew to 6 doctors.
It was getting complicated from a billing, payroll, personnel perspective, and I think he realized and saw the future was, let us do what we do best as physicians, and that's practice medicine.
We decided to join forces with the hospital.
They were the first group to join Lima Memorial Physicians. He had a passion for Lima Memorial like no one else, and I think he was always the one pushing for how do we take it to the next level.
You know, I've had some kind of relationship with the hospital ever since I was born here.
He ultimately enjoyed being the vice president for medical affairs here at Memorial.
He stood up for what he thought was best for the hospitals and the doctors.
He was very careful not to make a decision without collecting all the information. I really respected his leadership skills a lot.
He was one that led the charge. If you could put a cornerstone on the hospital when we did our expansions from the emergency room to the medical park to the Heart Institute, Dr. Thompson had his fingers in all of it. 20 years ago, we had internal medicine physicians who were taking care of cardiac patients. He said he needed cardiologists in the community, so we were able to recruit, because of him, step forward and say, how do we take it up a notch?
I thought LMPC could be a multi-specialty group and that we could attract high-level, high-quality doctors to Lima and help the hospital to thrive and do that. That's exactly what's happened. And I think there's probably even better things to come. Last few years of my practice in medicine, I did mostly geriatrics. At one point, I was medical director over 5 nursing homes.
When his patients started getting older, they would want to know what nursing homes he was a director of, because that's where they wanted to go.
I mean, it was wonderful talking to those people, spending time with them. Very gratifying.
He always took the time with the resident. I was always amazed at how he could remember patients when we would call and give him a name, that he would know that person. Just an overall, I think, great physician for this community. He was a real asset to the area.
It wasn't just the health at Lima Memorial. He had a passion for the health at the community level.
I was president of the health board for 31 years.
Dr. Thompson valued public health because he knew it took a combination of forces in the community to deal with health issues.
Public health protected our environment. It provided for care for underserved people. We did immunizations for free.
With his support, we sought grants for a number of different programs. Just made a great difference.
You'll never see an individual like him again. He's always welcome back. I always tell him he can always come out of retirement anytime he wants. From the bottom of my heart, Lynn, I want to say thanks so much for all you've done and all you will do for us going forward.
Thank you for being a good friend, a colleague that I could always turn to. Thanks for leaving Memorial in a better place now than where it was when you started.
I want to thank you for everything you've done for the Board of Health. You made the time for us in public health. You saw the value. That meant a great deal.
Lynn, I just want you to know that I am so proud of you, and thank you for this journey through life that you have given me, and I'm looking forward to a few more decades, and I love you for that.
Thanks, Dr. Thompson, for letting me be your professional sidekick through the years here at Wapak Manor. You've been a great educator. You've been a great mentor. Thank you for being my friend.
And I couldn't have had a better partner through that time, a better friend, and a big brother in medicine. Thank you.